Hi, so in this first chapter we're going to talk about the Ethereum blockchain and what it actually is. During the past couple of years, there are not many people that haven't heard at least a little bit about Bitcoins, Ethereum, or the blockchain technology. All the buzz generated by the media has led the industry to a giant leap, and the best is yet to come. Ethereum by definition is an open source public service that uses blockchain technology to aid smart contracts and cryptocurrency trading securely without a third party. Ethereum offers two types of accounts. Externally owned, those are the public accounts to which we own our private keys, and second ones are the contract accounts. Those are the accounts on which Ethereum developers deploy all kinds of smart contracts. The Ethereum blockchain remains the biggest smart contract ecosystem, being home to numerous altcoins and apps. Now we'll talk a little bit about the currency behind the Ethereum blockchain, or the so-called Ether. That's the currency that we're going to use in our smart contracts development with Solidity, and it's the main currency that sponsors most of the ICOs. By most predictions, it is expected that at some point in the not so far future, it will even beat Bitcoin in the market cap. Being able to make your own smart contracts not only gives you the ability to start a career in this fast-growing industry, but it allows you to make your own DApps. Some of the most famous ones that we have on Ethereum are CryptoKitties and IDEX. The general idea which the founder of Ethereum had was that the blockchain technology could do way beyond just payment transactions. So at the age of 19, he released a white paper describing what would ultimately become Ethereum using a general scripting language. The key difference from the mother coin, Bitcoin, was the platform's ability to trade more than just cryptocurrency. The thing is, blockchain technology is still evolving, but everyone that has any interaction with it sees its potential. The security behind every transaction is impenetrable because of the blockchain consensus algorithm. In the next video, I'm going to show you what blocks are, how are they generated, and I will show you the mechanisms behind every operation that's being sent through the blockchain. At last, we'll take a look at the current state of a blockchain, the problems that it's facing, and the possible solutions. In this video, we're going to talk about some technical but necessary things in the blockchain. I'll try to keep things simple as possible. I'm going to open a web page called etherscan.io. In this website, we can pretty much see every relevant statistic that we might need in order to track the blockchain movement. First, let's talk about how exactly information is being transmitted and stored on the blockchain. If you've ever owned any kind of cryptocurrency, you know that you have to pay some sort of transaction fee in order to send your money to someone else. That's not the same kind of fee that banks charge us when we make bank transfers, but it's a fee to the network itself. Look at it this way. When you hit the send button, your transaction goes into a pool with other transactions that are waiting to be transmitted and validated by the network. And that validation process, at least in the Ethereum blockchain, is being made by the so-called miners. In order for a transaction to be made, we have to tell the network how much gas money we're willing to pay. The higher the amount is, the faster our transaction will go to the next block and will be mined or so-called validated. We'll talk more about gas in next lectures, so now just keep in mind that there's some kind of transaction fee. Now let's take a look at Etherscan and what we can see. On the left side, there's a list of all the recently generated blocks that have been validated by the network. Each of these blocks contains a number of transactions or smart contract operations. Currently, there's a new block every 14 seconds or so, which means that when you try to send currency to someone, for instance, your transaction will get into one of those blocks depending on the network traffic and the amount that you have set for gas money. When we click on one of the generated blocks, we'll see all the information that it holds. First, we'll have the height, which is like the serial number of the block. We have a timestamp to know when exactly this block has been validated, and also we can see the number of transactions that are made inside the block and if there are any number of internal smart contract transactions. We're going to skip the hashes for now, since there's no need to get into them at this point. After that, we can see who mined the block. Most of the times they are mined by pools, which are basically a collaboration between miners that split the price for each block they mine. With time, the difficulty of mining a block grows exponentially. Just for the past 10 months, the difficulty has grown twice, which means less profit for the miners. After that, we have the size of the block and all the information that it holds in bytes. And below that, we have the used gas that people have paid for their transactions. Every mined block has a fixed reward by the network of 3 Ethereums that goes to the address of the miner that has mined the block, plus the gas money and uncles if there are some. Now let's click on the transactions and see what we have there. In this window, we're getting information about all of the transactions that are made in the block. We can see the unique hash for every single transaction, sender's address, and of course the receiver. Also, you can see the value that has been transferred. You might notice that some cases we have a value of the transaction of 0 ethers. That's when a transaction is being made through a smart contract. At the end, we can see that the transaction fee that's been paid for every single transaction. The principle of the TX fees is kind of simple. According to the network speed and traffic, we have n amount of transactions that can make it into the next block that's going to be mined. Whoever paid the biggest fee gets his transaction transmitted faster. Paying the minimum does not mean that the transaction won't be transmitted, but it might take a little bit of more time depending on the current traffic. The problem with the Ethereum network, and not only, is that at least for now it's dependent on the miners to validate blocks. And the problem with this is that mining equipment is extremely expensive and electricity consuming. This is why, for the past couple of years, the team behind of the Ethereum project and the community are taking a step to moving from proof of work to proof of stake validation mechanism. We won't be getting into that since this is not relevant to our course, but if you're interested, there's a ton of material in the community about it. The second and maybe bigger problem is the scaling of the network and increasing the transactions per second. Fortunately, with the fast-growing community, we might be seeing some big improvements in the near future. In the next video, we'll be making our first Ethereum wallet and we'll go through all the necessary security instructions in order to keep our finances secure. Okay, now let's go to the next lecture and find out how we can open our first Ethereum wallet. Welcome to this updated lecture on how to create your first Ethereum wallet. Since MyEther Wallet has updated their website, now we have a different interface and I had to update my lecture. Now we have two basic options here. We can access your wallet or create a new one. Let's see what options do we have for creating a new wallet. Click on Create New Wallet here. I'm going to talk about MuConnect later in this video. However, let's focus now on the key store file and the mnemonic phrase options that we have. Remember, this is not a recommended way of creating wallet by MyEtherWallet. This is because the information that we receive is sensitive and someone can hijack it. And this is the option for experienced crypto users, like you. So now, let's learn how to create a key store file. First, let's create a password for our wallet. Please remember this password as you're going to need it. Now let's click on Next. Now we're going to save our key store file. Make sure you don't lose it and you don't share it with anyone. Also, it's a good idea to back this file in an external hard drive or USB flash drive and keep that safe somewhere in your home. So now let's download the key store file. Now you have the option to access your wallet. Click on Access My Wallet. Now here are the options which we can use to log in into our wallet. We can use the MuConnect app, or we can use a hardware devices like ledgers, Fini, Trezor, Secalot, and other stuff like that. We also have the option to log in with MetaMask, which is quite convenient, and I'm going to talk later in this video how we can create our wallet with MetaMask and log in here. Now the last option that we have is to use a key store file or a private key. So let's click on that and select a key store file. Click on Continue and let's locate our key store file and select it. Use the password you used to create your wallet. And there you have it, you're inside your wallet. So now that we are inside our wallet, let's see what we have here. Here on the top we have our Ethereum address that we can use as a QR code. For example, we can print that out like this and give it to somebody, or we can just copy it and send it to someone. We have our balance, and here on the right side we have the network that we're connected to. We can change this to other test networks or other networks which are custom for us, but we're going to talk about this later in the lectures. So let's leave that. Now we have here the option to send ethers and tokens to other addresses. As you can see, you just enter the amount and the address. We have advanced settings like gas, which we're going to talk in later lectures. Now let's take a look at the other ways which we can create our Ethereum wallets. Let's sign out of our account and go to the Create a New Wallet again. Now we're going to use the MuConnect application and I'm going to show you how you can use it. Now you would want to install this on your Android device and open it. The first time you open the application, it would ask you to create a new wallet. Click on Create New Wallet. It will ask you to pick a password. So choose one and enter it. Now it would ask you to type your password again, but remember there is no restore of the password button. So make sure you remember that. Now the application is getting your Ethereum address and encrypting your private key so it can store it inside your phone basically. Now it's going to say everything is done and you can start using MuConnect. Now this is inside the MuConnect. We are required to take action of backing up our Ethereum wallet. So let's do this now. Let's click on Backup Now and prepare a sheet of paper where we can write down our recovery phrases. Let's start that. Enter your password for the Ethereum wallet And now you cannot see that because I'm streaming and the application is blocking this from streaming services, but you're going to be displayed 24 mnemonic phrases you should write down on a piece of paper. Now when you're done, click on Next, and the application would like to double check if you have written correctly the words. So you have to select, let's say, the 14th word. We would have to select the 19th word, the 20th word, and the 24th word. And click on Check. Now your wallet is backed up and everything should be fine. Click on Done, and now everything is verified. Now, in order to log in, just go to My Ether wallet and access your wallet from there. Click on the Mu Connect. So now, in order for us to log in into our My Ether wallet that we have created with Mu Connect, we have to scan the QR code here. So take your phone and scan the QR code, and you should be able to log in. It should take a while, so be patient. And there you have it. Now you have logged in your My Ether wallet. And now I'm going to show you how you can create your wallet using MetaMask. So let's close this and log out from our account. Now, in order to connect to My Ether wallet through MetaMask, we need to install it. Click on Access My Wallet here. After that, choose the MetaMask option. Now, this should prompt for you to install MetaMask, so click that here. Get your desired extension for the different browser that you're using. I'm using Chrome right now, so I'll get Chrome extension. Add this to Chrome, and it should be installing right now. And now we should create our wallet with MetaMask first. So let's get started. Let's create our wallet and click on the option here. Click on Agree, and now choose a password for your wallet. Click on I agree and I have read the terms of use, and click on Create. Now, this option with MetaMask will also ask you to back up your wallet using mnemonic phrases. So let's review our secret words and write them down on a piece of paper. Now that you're ready with the writing down of your secret backup phrases, click on Next. Now it should ask you to confirm your backup phrases. So let's order them right now. After you're done, click on the Confirm. And now you have an Ether wallet created with MetaMask. Now let's log in inside My Ether wallet using MetaMask. Let's refresh the page and let's click on the MetaMask option again. Now click on the checkbox here to access my wallet. I accept the terms and access my wallet. Click on Connect. And now you have opened your Ethereum wallet inside myetherwallet.com. So this is it for this lecture. See you in the next one. So in this video I will show you the different kinds of wallets that you can use. For those of you that are familiar with them, feel free to skip this lesson and go straight to the next one. Okay, in the previous video we have made our first Ethereum wallet using my Ether wallet website. Those kinds of wallets are called online wallets. They shouldn't be your first choice if you're a security freak or you have a big amount of money invested. Let's talk about software wallets. One of the most common software wallets is the official blockchain of the coin, for instance the Ethereum. But in order for the wallet to be functional, you have to synchronize your copy of the blockchain with the official one, which, depending on the coin, might take a lot of your hard drive and time. I've personally used software wallets like Exodus. It's an amazing application with pretty neat user interface that makes managing your assets easy and as secure as it can get on a software wallet. When you first download and install it, you'll be given a mnemonic phrase of 14 words if I remember correctly. Those 14 words are your backup key in case your PC gets broken, software gets deleted, or any kind of situation in which you lose control of your software. Of course, you'll be asked to type a password, which again I strongly suggest to be unique and as long as possible. After that, we have the so-called hardware wallets. I've told you that in the previous videos about the Nano Ledger and the Trezor devices, so let's see them now. Here's the website of the Nano Ledger. It looks like a flash drive, but don't get fooled, the security behind it is amazing. Again, we have a mnemonic phrase, passcode and high standard of security. If you lose your ledger, you can always order a new one and put the coins from the lost one to the new one with the mnemonic phrase. The advantage of hardware wallets compared to the software wallets is that they are pretty much unhackable. Here's the website of the Trezor wallet as well. As I told you before, it's pretty much the same device with a different look. And last but not least, we have the exchange wallets. During the past couple of years, a lot of exchanges got hacked and a lot of people lost most of their money, which led to big dumps to the prices of all currencies. But even after those things, a lot of people are still using exchange accounts to store their assets. Don't get me wrong, if someday you decide you want to get involved into cryptocurrency trading, it's fine, but just keep in mind not to keep big amounts of coins no matter how big or trusted the exchange is. For the sake of the example, I will show you one of the biggest exchanges, Binance. The security measures are getting better and better every day so that people can feel safer trusting their assets to the exchanges. For instance, after you make an account, you'll notice that you have several layers of protection just to get inside of your account. After that, if you try to withdraw funds, you have to verify the transaction by code, send it to your phone or authenticator, email, or whatever option you have added. The most important thing about handling cryptocurrencies is that you acknowledge that you and only you take responsibility about what happens to your assets and where you trust them to be kept safe. In the next video, we'll talk about MetaMask. I'll show you the difference between handling a mainnet and a testnet wallet, and after that, we'll take a look at what gas is. See you in the next lecture. In this video, I'm going to show you the main app that we're going to use as our wallet. As I've said in the previous video, MetaMask has become essential when we want to get into a smart contract business. So let's start by saying what MetaMask actually is. The application is actually a Google Chrome extension. It works with ERC20 tokens, which are the most common ones in the Ethereum blockchain, and believe it or not, is one of the most secure software wallets out there. Let's start by installing the extension to our Chrome browser. Just type the name in the Google Store search bar and it should be the first one that pops out. When we have added the MetaMask to our browser, it's time to set it up. First, we're going to make an account. In order to make that, we are asked to type a password and confirm it. Again, as in all other types of wallets, use something unique as password that you don't usually use on other websites and write it down on a piece of paper. Now we are given a so-called seed or a mnemonic phrase. This phrase is our backup key. If my PC gets broken or lost or stolen and I need to reinstall MetaMask to another device, this key will restore my wallet. I strongly suggest that you don't save the seed on your PC or any kind of electronic device for that matter. Write it down on a piece of paper at least 2-3 times and put the copies on a secure location. Now, after we are done with the backup of our seed words, MetaMask asks us to double check our seeds and enter it in the system. This way, we'll be 100% sure that we have written down the words correctly and they work. And that's it. Our account is all set up. Now we're getting to the interesting part. Let's first click on the MetaMask icon and see what we have there. As you can see, our balance is currently 0. On the top of the extension, we can see this little box that tells us which network we're currently connected to. As any other developer, we need a safe place where we can test and deploy our work, and in this case, our smart contracts. Now, let's get our hands on some free Ether that we can send to our accounts in the test network. First thing that we need to do is go to a website faucet.rinkeby.io. Here we're given 3 options that are basically time related so that it can prevent spamming of the service. Let's go for the highest amount. So in order to get those 18.5 test ethers, all we have to do is go in MetaMask and copy our wallet address to our clipboard. After that, we just have to paste that address in any of the 3 social medias and copy and paste the link to the post on the Rinkeby website. The verification of the transaction should take around a minute or so, and you should be done after that. We would have 18.5 ethers to work with in the test network. You might be asking yourself, why do we need Ether if we are the creators of the smart contracts? Well, as I said in the previous videos, there's a thing called gas that we all pay when we want to make a transaction, or at our case for every operation that our smart contract does. So think of the gas as an internal pricing for running a transaction or contract in the Ethereum network. As I've said before, the higher the amount of gas you're willing to pay, the faster your transaction will get into the next block. With smart contracts, it gets a bit trickier since we spend gas for every line of code. We also need to spend some gas when we deploy our contract to the network. Here's a simple table that shows us some of the gas values per action. As you can see, it might get pricey to deploy and run our smart contracts, so it's very important to do it right. But don't get scared by numbers. The actual price of 1 gas to Ether is really small, which depends on the current network traffic and the number of miners that are validating the transactions. If we go back to Etherscan, the website that we visit in one of our first videos, we can see the current gas price and also the minimum and the maximum value for a transaction. Now you